You have your agendas there. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. You have the minutes from several meetings, special council and regular council, and then in camera. Somebody prepared to move those?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular council meeting of November 26, 2014, the in-camera meeting of November 26, 2014, the special council meeting of December 4th, 2014, and the December 5th special council meeting of 2014.
Do we have a seconder for those?
So move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to number 5. 5.1 is a public hearing, land-based closed containment aquaculture facility development agreement. Mr. Fulton?
Well, thank you, Mr. Warden. This is the public hearing on the proposed development agreement between the Numbers Nova Scotia Company 903. Oh, I'm sorry, pardon me, that was the PID number. The number Nova Scotia Company is 3285279 Nova Scotia Limited. It is an agent and a sign of Red Ocean Limited. Red Ocean Incorporated, pardon me. On December 16th, 2014, there was a public information meeting held by the Planning Advisory Committee with Mr. Jason Lee, the proponent. At that time, the public participation meeting was advertised that the development agreement would be between Red Ocean Incorporated and the municipality of Yarmouth. In the interim, Mr. Lee and Red Ocean have assigned all of their legal interests to the Numbered Nova Scotia Company. The municipal solicitor and the solicitor for Mr. Lee and Red Ocean have drafted the required legal documentation which satisfies the requirement, and the municipal solicitor advised that we wouldn't have to redo the public participation meeting as the legal documents covered the change. So the development agreement proposal is for a land-based closed containment aquaculture facility and a lot in the Hebron Municipal Park, Industrial and Commercial Park. And the review of the development agreement for compliance with all of the policy requirements of the municipal planning strategy was completed. It met all of the requirements, and the Planning Advisory Committee recommended to the Council to proceed to a public hearing. This is the public hearing this evening, and Council is now holding this public hearing. In essence, the proposal is for a large building, approximately 100 feet by 200 feet. Inside that building, there will be large fiberglass tanks. In the tanks, there is going to be a series of eels. The American eel is the species that is being grown. As it grows, the eels will be transferred from one tank to the other until they're ready for market size. The proposal is to market and ship the live eels to Korea, and in essence, that's the proposal. It's entirely contained within a building. The only exterior component of the operation is a large oxygen tank, which by building code law is not permitted to be inside a building. The lot is a large lot. I think it's 4 acres approximately, and is situated in the northernmost portion of the existing Hebron Park. The proposal also includes, if successful, and we hope that he is successful, the expansion of the business to a phase 2 and a phase 3, which would be identical sized buildings in the future that will be used for the same purpose of growing the American eel. So in essence, that's the long and the short of it.
Thank you. Any questions of council? Did you have any written?
There were no written submissions to my office or to the municipal office, nor were there any inquiries by telephone or otherwise at either my office or the municipal office, to my knowledge.
Okay.
I checked with the office this afternoon, early this afternoon, so I don't suspect that anything happened between between this afternoon and this evening. So.
Okay. Anybody who was opposed to it should have wrote in, but if that didn't happen, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this matter? Okay, hearing none. Councilors, you have a recommendation from for the development agreement from the PAC. So, John?
Trevor's up.
He's been on.
Oh, sorry.
So right now, is that when we entertain a motion to go ahead?
Yes, you could
Okay.
move that the council enter into the development agreement.
I
would
have
be
it
the-
written down
would be
here.
the motion.
I move that the development agreement be approved between the municipality and the District of Yarmouth and company number 3285279 Nova Scotia Limited be approved for land-based closed containment aquaculture in the municipal business park.
One of them, I don't know, Liz, Leland or Trevor, but they both seconded, but any further discussion? Question being called, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion carried. You have before you 5.2, a public hearing for the second and possibly final reading of two bylaws. 5.2.1 is a tax reduction bylaw, T-08301. What's the wishes of council on that? Good.
I'll move that we take tax reduction bylaw T-83-01 to the second and final reading.
Before someone seconds that, Liz, did we have any written opposition to that? No. Right, but it's also a public hearing, but we had no, okay. Do we have a seconder for that? Any further discussion? Question being called, all in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion carried. 5.2.2, Marketing and Promotions Bylaw, M-062-06.
I'll move that the municipality district of Yarmouth take the marketing and promotions bylaw M-062-06 to second and possible final reading.
Do we have a seconder for that? Further discussion? Hearing none? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion carried. Rec 6.1, recommendations from committee of the whole. It was forwarded from the committee of the whole, the Markland Viking project. Where would council like to proceed with this?
I got a question from my former councilors. I know the question was probably answered, but I guess it's a sad fact, and maybe I wasn't paying attention at the time. Was this a time-sensitive funding request, or could this be forwarded to budget?
I think we asked oh, sorry, Leland, go ahead. Answer that then.
No, I can't answer because I wasn't at the committee of the whole meeting. I didn't know what council had for discussion and so on. That's going to be my only question, Mr.
It's a 3-year project. I think it can wait for budget as long as they knew that we would. I think when I asked the question, if it was time sensitive, Councillor, if we were in favor of it, and like it could wait for budget as long as they knew that we were going to support them in the endeavor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I remember the proposal very well, and I think it has a lot of community involvement and something unique and different to the area. Therefore, I would make a motion that I would be in full support of at least the first two phases. The third phase, I'd like maybe a little bit more information from them. And as we all remember, that was here, that this proposal was for a time period of 1 year, 1 year, 2 year, 3. I would like to move this forward to budget deliberations for more consideration, but I'd certainly be in, I would certainly approve going forward for at least the first 2 years and most possibly the third, because the third one, I believe, was about building the ship. And I had brought up the point that I think that this would be a great a tourist attraction where the ship could be built on a wharf, or when the ferry, people from the ferry get off up at the information center. I think this would be a spectacular thing, and it's not something that someone's done that I can think of. And certainly with Yarmouth and Acadian Shores, we would certainly have the resources and stuff to promote that very well. And I think that would give people a whole reason to come across on that ferry and spend their money here in the Yarmouth and Acadian Shores catchment area. So I made that a motion.
Councillor Anthony.
I don't know exactly in what context that it would move forward. If we stop and think about what they do down in the States pertaining to the Civil War reenactments, what they do, because I did read the project previous, the shipbuilding up on the Halifax waterfront, they build a dory up there, and that's quite a crowd pleaser. People stop, ask questions and so on, and that's what I believe Southwest Nova needs. I believe this is what Yarmouth County needs, something along this context for the tourism industry. We're not prepared yet, but I think this project has merit, and I don't know about the committee structure and what their overall, I wasn't here, so I didn't get to talk with David or ask any direct questions. I can support council supporting this, no problem at all.
So are you seconded Councillor's motion?
Yes, I will.
Okay. You have a motion, it's been seconded. Any further discussion? Question being called, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Thank you, gentlemen. You have in front of you 6.1.2 is the healthy eating and recreation and municipal settings policy H0-065-14. Councillor Churchill.
Yes, we had discussion at the last council meeting on forwarding this back to the Yarmouth Recreation for further discussion. So I'd like to make that a motion that we move that back to Yarmouth Recreation Committee and for further discussion.
Thank you, Councillor. Do we have a seconder for that? Motion and seconded. Any further discussion? Councillor, yes, I'm
I
sorry,
have
go
a
ahead.
question on it, Mr. Chair. We gave this back. How come there was no movement, or have they moved on it and just don't have anything to give back to us, or?
I thought the intent was, but maybe it had to have a motion to send it back. So if that's the case, then this would do that.
Okay.
Okay. Am I right, Liz? Or partially right? Okay. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
And we do have a meeting on the 4th of February.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Question.
Question being called on a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Thank you, gentlemen. 6.1.3, Council, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. Yeah, Mr. Chair, the Markland Viking project, we just voted to forward that to budget, but I did just quickly go back and look at the minutes, and he was requesting that for the end of February. The minutes from the committee of the whole indicate that he was requesting that from
The
February.
funding, or just to know that he was
I
getting
think
the
my
funding?
recollection was the funding, because they needed to order some of the things online. They're sort of custom type
I'll
orders.
have to, Liz, can you go back?
That's my understanding, but I may be wrong. I just want to check and
I'll
make
have
sure.
her check that. I thought as long as they knew, they would go ahead and get, and we could forward the budget, so we better clarify that.
Is requesting response to the request by the end of February in order to proceed this year.
Okay. Leaving your mic's on, you just forgot to turn it off, or did you want to?
No, I'm sorry.
So what's the wishes of council? You've approved the funding, I guess, Councillor.
I'll make a motion to commit that to the upcoming budget rather than to forward it to budget.
Any further discussion? Go ahead.
I fully agree. I'm in support of this motion, but I believe afterwards that I believe we should be rescinding the original motion that I made. I know this is only a procedural thing, but I think we should rescind the motion that I made to forward it to budget after this motion is voted on, just to make it neat and tidy.
Okay. Any further discussion? Question being called, all in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. I think it takes more than a 50-50, so is all council in favor of a motion to rescind that? To do that? John, go ahead and make your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that we rescind the previous motion that I made in regards to the Viking funding project by forwarding it to the budget by, I don't know exactly how to word that. I move that I rescind the previous motion I made to forward the Viking stewardship funding from moving it to budget.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Further discussion? Question being called, all in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you. Glad you brought that up, Councillor. Back to appointment to Arcadian Skies and Mi'kmaq Stewardship Council. Do you want to do those appointments tonight, or do you want to discuss them further? Pardon? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Then I move that we appoint Councillor Gerard LeBlanc to the Acadian Skies and Mi'kmaq Stewardship Council.
Any further discussion?
All right, the only reason why I'm doing that, I'm not putting forward Mr. LeBlanc's name, just for the people in the audience here. I'm not putting his name just because he's not here. He already said that he would like to sit on that stewardship council, so just to be clear on that.
All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. 6.1.4, Yarmouth Agricultural Society request for funding. You have your information there, Councillor.
Yes, and I guess where is the Yarmouth County Agricultural Societies works so hard, diligently volunteers lots of hours for the benefit of the community. I'll move that we provide, or the Municipality District of Yarmouth provide a grant to the Yarmouth County Agricultural Society in the amount of $5,000 to be taken from the operating reserves to assist with the deficit the Agricultural Society has identified to the Municipality of the District of Yarmouth.
You have a motion, it's been seconded. Any further discussion? Councillor Anthony?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm in support of the motion. I just wanted to mention to councillors that up in CBRM, they're having issues on the same line as this. They have a zoo up there, a private zoo, and they found that their attendance was way down because of rain and just bad weather and so on. And they were down to the tune of $40,000. And the CBRM Council is looking at putting some financial assistance in to help them. Also, this past week in the news, there was another issue on the same pretense as this, where another organization was having a little bit of a financial issue because of the weather, because of tourism and so on. If we stop and look at it, they call it the ripple effect, and I fully believe the ferry was gone for 4 years, and by the time we got it back, the ripple effect. I think some volunteer organizations, are just now going to start feeling the financial burden 2014, 2015, 2016, and then they will start and see the rise that their attendance will start and come back up, their revenue will start and come back up in 2016, 2017 because of the tourism industry coming back. But I think it caught up, and the Agricultural Society is one organization. There's other organizations within Yarmouth that are feeling the same pinches, but they're not coming forward to ask. That's all at this time. I fully support this.
Oh, go ahead, John.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we all know, I'm not one to go forward and give grants for organizations or help an organization when it comes to operating. However, I believe this is an extenuating circumstance. We've had an exhibition in this area for how many years? 155 years. What a shame to see this being dropped if they could not pay their bills. I want to see the exhibition continue on. I grew up in the exhibition. I participated in the exhibition, and I have many fond memories as a kid taking care of the animals and stuff when I was out there, and I want my kids and my grandkids to experience the same thing. I don't believe this is something that this council should let go. It's part of our heritage. It's part of our history. We really have to take care of an organization like this and help them when they're in hard times. And as Councillor Anthony Oakley put it, there is a ripple effect. I truly believe that their attendance will be going back up. And when their attendance goes back up, they'll be able to put on more events and different things. That's one hard-working organization. My father was involved in it years ago. My grandfather was involved in that many years ago, and I was involved in that. And that's something that I'm willing to support.
Rick.
Yes, and I'd like to say the same thing as Councillor Cunningham. I mean, I've been involved with exhibition all my life also. My family, I have a grandfather, an uncle, my dad, we're all lifetime directors, honorary directors of the exhibition. And I'd hate to see, I've always been an exhibition enthusiast. I'd really like to see this keep going. And I have no problem supporting the Agricultural Society in this endeavor. So I strongly support.
Thank you, councillors. Any further discussion? Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion carried. 6.1.5 is an email from the Yarmouth and Area Chamber of Commerce. It's a request for a letter of support for a branded license plate in Nova Scotia. You have a photo of it there. What's the council wish to do with that?
I'll move that we support the Yarmouth Area Chamber of Commerce in their request to support the branded license plate that they outline in their letter to us.
Thank you, councillor. Do we have a seconder for that? You have a motion, it's been seconded. Any further discussion? Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you. Liz, will you let Anne Marie know in the morning that she sent me an email the other day and I said it was coming to council. So 6.1.6 is the municipal bursary, and that's traditionally we make a motion every year. So it's just a house cleaning. Do you wish to carry that on this year, Councillor Anthony?
Also move that, Mr. Chair. It's good project.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. 6.1.7, a Relay for Life grant request. You had a chance to look at that, Councillor Churchill?
Yes, this is not a time-sensitive thing, so I'd like to forward this to budget. Relay for Life is normally a latter part of June, and I always usually take part in it, so anyhow, I'd like to make a motion that we forward this to budget.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. 6.1.8, Rotary Club of Yarmouth sponsorship. You have the information there.
I'll move that we sponsor a table and as requested in the Rotary Club's letter, and that we follow the procedure that we do when buying tables for other events in terms of giving the tickets and so forth to volunteers in the community.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder for that?
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, it's been seconded for discussion.
Yeah, I'd like to ask if there's any information here. For some reason, this thing's sideways, and I cannot read it. Is there any dollar figure on getting a table?
Individually, it's $100 per person, and so money is something that we for that people equal be $800, right? It doesn't say that.
I just wanted to be sure on that. I think maybe that we should make it up to a maximum of. I fully believe that we should be supporting this, and not only that, it's been an unwritten policy that the Municipality District of Yarmouth has been giving these tickets away to volunteers who volunteer on our committees. And I think it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not voting against this. I just like to know the top dollar figure on this.
I'll move an amendment to the original motion that we cap that at a maximum of $800 for greater certainty.
I'll agree to that amendment.
Question on the amendment? All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Okay. Question on the original motion. All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, you have the December development report there. Someone want to move the acceptance of that? Do we have a seconder? Any further discussion? Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. You have your reports there in front of you. There's no questions of your committee members. We'll move on to 8.2. Did I? Okay, John, I'm sorry. Regular council meeting. Were we moving that tonight, Liz? I see it there, but I thought that's what that the other one that we did. 7.2 in new business.
There's nothing there for us to open either.
No.
You have a income exemption?
Yes. A policy.
No, we're gonna, because we have it settled on CPA,
Right.
we're gonna hold that.
Okay. Good. John, did you want to speak? Was that you, regular council on March 25th?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is to advise council. I know this is an early, telling you guys early about this, but I believe that if there's a lot going on in March, and I believe that you all should be aware that I will not be available for the March 25th regular council meeting. I will also be away from the date starting the 13th of March until the 29th of March. And I just wanted council to be aware of that, and I believe there was another councillor here as well that had that, so if something should come up and we don't have a quorum, I just want to be making sure that well in advance everybody knew that I was not going to be around for that regular council meeting. If council so chooses, we may give it some thought. At our next regular council meeting in February, we can possibly change the date if there's any other issues that come up that needs to be a little bit time sensitive, because I'd hate to hold back all of us on that. So I'll be unavailable from the 13th of March until the 29th.
Okay. Councillor Churchill?
Well, I'll also advise you, not him and I are traveling together,
I hope.
but I'm also going to be away for that same time period.
Thank you both, councillors. So if we have a quorum, we'll do business while you're gone. If not, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Go ahead.
Maybe we should keep this as a ongoing agenda item for the next regular council meeting, just to be sure. So maybe
Okay.
move this item forward ahead to the next regular council meeting in February, which would be February the 18th? No,
No.
25th.
Yeah.
February the 25th.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to your reports. We have a bylaw and policy review committee, and we need, for recommendations from bylaw and policy review committee, we need a motion to move that to second reading in a public hearing. Counselor?
Yes, I'll move that we approve the service fees for payment cards bylaw S-085-14.
All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Same for 8.1.2.3.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that we approve the non-sufficient funds checks and automatic withdrawals policy N-088-14.
Any further discussion? Question being called, all in favor, say aye. Now I have to check with my trustee colleague here, because were we right or wrong? We got it, everything's good? Okay. So what's, the bylaw is not stated there, it just says bylaw.
Service fees for payment cards. I don't policy. Where are you?
Well, there's 8.1, 8.2, and 8.3.
8 point, the first number 1 is recommendations for bylaw and policy review committee. It's just a document for you to open. It's not.
Okay. So that don't go for second reading, and we approve the policies, good. Yep, okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank you. You have the rest of your committee reports there. All right, Leland, Councillor Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to give a quick update on the emergency measures. The storm that we encountered here the other day. I happened to go in on Monday, and Harold was into the EOC doing up paperwork and getting information from Environment Canada and so on pertaining to the storm, and from the EO Center out of Halifax. And just to give you an idea, Harold was into the EOC Center at 5 o'clock on Tuesday morning. He had some of the radio operators come in at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, just in case there was any major issues, power failures, etc., and so on. And I just wanted to make the comment that I think we're very fortunate in the dedication that Harold puts forward to the EOC and the position that he carries to make sure that if there is going to be an issue, he's there, he's on top of it. And he was going to, you know, they were going to have the food, everything there for any of the workers and so on. So I just want to take this opportunity to publicly thank Harold for the work that he does on the small remuneration that he gets for the job that he does for the Yarmouth County. And just to give you a quick update on that, the Argyle EOC was also going to be working out of there for this storm. So we're moving forward on that project also. Just wanted to give you an update, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. I think Council agrees with the hard work that is done by the EMO and Harold. So, moving on, I don't think we had any recommendations from committee to in camera, did we? Okay, a motion for adjournment is in order. Oh, go ahead.
I believe there was, I don't see it here on this agenda, but I believe there was something there about committee appointments.
There is.
But that's not here, that's in camera, correct? Okay, because we never discussed that.
Yep.
So, never mind, thank you.
Did someone move that we adjourn? Seconded. All in favor. Thank you, gentlemen.